Good afternoon, everybody, or good morning to everyone who's here. My name is Andika Putra Pratama. I am the head of division for international partnerships, usually also labeled as International Relations Office. Yeah, it's been something that that's been a brand or the brand of the office in particular. Yeah, so the division of international partnerships is in the part of the Bureau of Partnerships Institut Teknologi Bandung. So we're very delighted, we're very happy to be part of this event for British Chambers of Commerce Indonesia, our colleagues, to approach us to have this event run together, organized together. So it's been quite something for us, in the sense that we're very much about trying to inform our students and perhaps the public at large about certain scholarship opportunities for our students or alumni. And so this in particular is something that I think will be very, very beneficial for our viewers, students, alumni alike, especially here for women in STEM, and so from Liverpool John Moores University. So we're very delighted to have Mr. Nicholas Pitt here with us as well, who's going to present about the scholarships, especially for women in STEM. And certain questions have been addressed to us related to this program in particular. And from what we understand, it is really about trying to make sure inclusivity or inclusiveness in the STEM related subjects. And so it's something that we are very much supporting. We are very much looking forward to push forward this agenda. And without further ado, I think that would be our introduction, and the rest will be provided by our colleague, Mr. Nicholas Pitt from Liverpool John Moores University, to give you the necessary information about the scholarship. In particular, what women can do in the context of STEM related subjects. Yeah, so without further ado, I'm going to hand the floor to
thank you, Pak Andika, for the wonderful remarks. And now, without further ado, I'm going to hand over the screen to Nicholas Pitt, the Regional Manager for Africa and Southeast Asia at Liverpool John Moores University, to share his presentation, and will be followed with a Q&A section and a quick updates from British Education Center. Nicholas, the screen is yours.
That's great, thank you. So thank you for this opportunity to present to you today. It really is a great opportunity, this Women in STEM scholarship. So I will go into more detail about that and the courses available for the scholarship. But it is a really fantastic opportunity and quite unique to have that fully funded opportunity to study in the UK. So I will just share my screen quickly. So I'm Nick from Liverpool John Moores University. I work in the international relations team and look after Southeast Asia. I will talk a little bit about Liverpool as a city, what it's like to study in the UK and study at the university, our teaching methods as well, and sort of the experience you will gain studying at Liverpool John Moores. And then go on to the Women in STEM scholarship and other funding opportunities available at the university, but other subject areas as well. Okay, so first of all, a little video that will give you a welcome to Liverpool John Moores. And hopefully the sound will work for this. But just to show you a little bit of the city of Liverpool and what the students' experience may look like very, very quickly. So just a little look at what the university looks like. So where is Liverpool in the UK? So we're based in the northwest of England. So we're very close to Manchester. So that would be the normal airport that students will fly into. We will, of course, pick students up from the airport, take you to your accommodation, get you settled in as soon as you arrive. We are well connected to the rest of the UK. So London, for example, is only 2 hours away by train. And then if we look at the other map, if you're studying on the Women in STEM scholarship, you'll be based at our city campus. So you're right in the city centre of Liverpool. So the lighter green dots are your accommodation as well. So everything is within walking distance. Now, as part of the Women in STEM scholarship, you will be provided a stipend, a living allowance as well as part of the fully funded scholarship. So with Liverpool John Moores, our accommodation is very, very affordable. So about 80 to 90 pounds per week and walking distance to class. So that stipend payment really enables you to live very comfortably and very well in the UK during your time here. But being located in the city centre, you are close to everything. Restaurants, bars, shops, the waterfront of Liverpool, travel to anywhere else in the UK. We have beaches even in Liverpool, so you may not believe that there are actually beaches in the UK, but there are. I wouldn't recommend swimming, but you know, it's a nice day out. But yeah, being based in the city centre, it does allow you to wake up sort of 5-10 minutes before class, be on time and get into your study. You're located very close to the libraries and the support structures available at the university as well. Okay, so a little bit about Liverpool. So you all may know Liverpool a little bit or may have heard of Liverpool. Obviously very, very famous for the football. I'm a big Liverpool football fan myself, and would say that we are the best football team in the world, but also famous for the Beatles and music, the history of music within the city as well. We've got big concert arenas and a big lively sort of nightlife as well in the city. We have the most museums and art galleries outside of London, which makes Liverpool one of the biggest tourist attractions in the UK, and a fantastic city for students to live in. Within the city, there's about 70,000 students. So it is a big student city and one that really caters for international students as well. So there's a lot of diverse communities and local communities that are international. That includes a lot of students from Indonesia. So within Liverpool, we are lucky to have a big Indonesian society that runs across every university, and it's a good chance for you to come to Liverpool and meet with Indonesian students that are already here. They've been here for maybe 1, 2, 3 years. We at Liverpool John Moores have a number of students from Indonesia at PhD level and master's level already. That would definitely, you know, advise you and help you settle into life in Liverpool. You know, get to know the supermarkets where you can get, you know, your Asian supermarket goods and you can cook yourself. There's a lot of trips as well within that Indonesian society to go around the UK, and it really is just a great support structure for you. We have a number of academics and staff as well from Indonesia, so again that will really help you settle into life in the city. But not only that, you get a real international experience. We've got obviously, you know, a lot of home students at the university, but also a lot of international students. So it's around 15% of the student body is international from all over the world. That includes the Americas, Europe, Africa, the Middle East, so lots of different areas. As a city as well, and as a university, we do recognise every faith and religion as well, and do offer support structures for that. In fact, in Liverpool, we have the first mosque in the UK, so that's another good fact, and we are very open and welcoming to different faiths within the city and support any needs that you have regarding your faith. So a little bit about the university itself. We do run across 5 different faculties. The Women in STEM scholarship includes subjects from the Faculty of Science and also the Faculty of Health. So I'll go into the exact subject later on. But as a university as a whole, we've got over 300 different programs at undergraduate and master's level. And I think really what sets us apart from many other universities in the UK is our teaching method. We are a very practical-led institution. Essentially what we're looking for is for you to be employable, for you to get experience whilst you're here in the UK, build your employability opportunities as well. So every course that we have, especially those subjects within STEM, will have practical modules within it, but also placement modules that are built into the course. So it's not an additional period that you do. So say an additional 6 months or 12 months, it's built into the courses that you do. So the modules that you actually do. So for example, if you do a pharmacy related subject, you'll get placements with Unilever. If it's within computing, we work with the likes of Microsoft, Barclays Banks, Sony, that all have offices and head offices based in the Northwest and in Liverpool. So a lot of opportunities for you to really build your employability whilst you're at LJMU. But I'll go into that as well a little bit more later on, just now in fact. So we also run Unitemps, which is an internal recruitment agency that helps you with looking for graduate jobs, part-time work as well. Obviously, if you're based on the Women in STEM scholarship, you won't actually really need to do part-time work whilst you study, but you can do if you want to and work for 20 hours per week on your student visa. But as I say, you get a stipend payment as part of the Women in STEM scholarship. So actually it's very generous and will cover any costs that you can think of whilst you study. But it is important to note that the courses that we offer will improve your employability massively through the placements that you get and the interactive methods of teaching as part of the course. Okay, so accommodation. So I mentioned earlier, all accommodation is based within walking distance of class, walking distance of the city, or the shops, the restaurants, the bars, everything that you can think of in the city is very, very close together. Now, as part of the scholarship, your accommodation payment will come out of your stipend. So really it depends how much you want to spend on your accommodation and what you want as sort of a living allowance. But the allowance that you get is very, very generous. And you can sort of, pick whatever you like, to be honest. But the costs do range from around £85 per week and up to about £150 per week. Obviously, at the higher end, you get your own studio apartment, which includes your own individual room, bedroom, bathroom, kitchen area, lounge area. So it's a little studio apartment based in the city centre. At the lower cost, you do get your own bedroom and private bathroom. Now, this year we do have 5 Women in STEM scholarships already, scholarship students already from Southeast Asia, including Indonesia. Now, they all live together in the same flat, which is quite nice to have that support structure in place. And most likely we can do the same again next year. So if you do get awarded the scholarship, chances are you'll probably share the flat with other Women in STEM scholarship students from Southeast Asia. Okay, so this will be the campus that you would be based on. So this covers our Faculty of Engineering, Faculty of Science, and Faculty of Health. Just to give you a bit of an idea of what the campus actually looks like and a bit of the city again as well.
Welcome to Liverpool John Moores University. This campus brings together loads of students from courses such as Health, Engineering and Technology and Science. Let me show you around. Travelling to Liverpool is really easy, so if you're living in halls or travelling into the city centre, getting around won't be a problem. This campus is only a 10-minute walk from Liverpool Line Street Station, has all the cool things to see and do in the city centre. There is loads of great accommodation right by campus, so that means you won't even have to get a bus into uni. This building is filled with world-class labs, engineering facilities, classrooms, IT suites and simulators, depending on what you're studying. The Students' Union has loads of pop-ups, but this is where you can find them in the city campus. So get involved. The Tom Riley building is home to our world-leading sports science team. So this is a place where you can see your mates, charge your phone, grab a coffee and just relax for a bit in between lessons. We also have a career zone on campus for online and face-to-face support. At Primrose Hill we have specialist facilities for sport and exercise science students and labs for civil engineering students. This is the Type Barn building where nurses, paramedic and midwifery students work alongside other professional health courses in some amazing practice suites. This is Avril Robots Library, just a 5-minute walk from the other campus buildings. Libraries are open 24/7, so you can study at a time that suits you. Plus there's quiet areas, spaces for work and bookable PCs. Ready for next year, there's going to be brand new sport and student life buildings connecting both of the campuses. There is so much to do in the city. Grab a drink and have some food, or go for a shopping spree in Liverpool 1, or just take some time out at the local park, beaches or Albert Dock. You're going to love it.
Okay, so hopefully that gives you a bit of an idea of what the city campus looks like and a bit of Liverpool as well. So I'll now go into some more detail about the British Council Women in STEM Scholarship. So this year we do have 5 of the scholarships available for students from Southeast Asia. Last year we did get students from Indonesia onto the scholarship as well. And I would say at the moment as well, in terms of current applications that we've had, a lot of them aren't actually eligible. They've come from countries that aren't actually eligible for the scholarship. They've been incomplete applications. So what I would say at the moment, if you apply for the course and the scholarship, you would have a very good chance of getting it if you submit a proper application to us. So that's the current state of what the applications do look like. But obviously it'll be a select number of master's taught programs, which I'll go into in a minute, that are eligible for this scholarship. But it is available to female students only. And it is a fully funded scholarship. So it covers absolutely everything you can think of. So your air travel, your transport in Liverpool as well, but also your stipend, your accommodation. If you require an IELTS test as well as part of your application, they can cover that as well. So you can actually apply for the scholarship with a conditional offer and take your IELTS or English test later on. And the British Council will fund that IELTS test as well. So it does cover everything. What we do recommend is that you come to the UK with a little bit of money for the first couple of weeks. Not a lot of money because your accommodation will be sorted. You'll be able to move in straight away, but it can take a couple of weeks to get your stipend, first stipend payment. So that's just one thing to consider as part of the scholarship. So if we look at the courses that are available this year, now these were kind of set by the British Council in terms of areas that they really want to promote and build in Indonesia. And one of those was the climate change and sustainability and growing that area within Indonesia. So this is actually a relatively new course for LJMU. So we've studied, I think it was been running for maybe 2 years already, but it is a relatively new course. Now, in terms of the entry requirements for that, in terms of what you have to have studied before, they'll be looking for some kind of environmental science background, geography background, but I believe they will be quite flexible in terms of the subject that you've studied at S1 bachelor degree level. And then we go on to the MSc in clinical exercise physiology, which is more related to sport and exercise science specifically. So again, that was an area that the British Council were looking to develop and grow within Indonesia. But with this course, they'd be looking for more a background within biology at your bachelor degree level. And then we've got the MSc Natural Product Discovery, which is in our School of Pharmacy. And this is kind of more related to drug development and using more natural resources for drug development. That kind of area, and you know, it's quite a research intensive course, but it does sit within our School of Pharmacy and does include that opportunity to sort of gain experience with Unilever based in Liverpool as well. I think the most popular course that we've had is the MSc International Public Health, basically just because the background of the course, it doesn't really matter too much what you've studied before. They're open to different areas of bachelor degree that you've studied. So really it's just looking at more of a passion of you developing in that area of public health going forward. In Liverpool, we've been lucky to be allocated by the World Health Organization a big research institute into pandemic management and vaccination for future pandemics as well. So Liverpool is now a hub in the world for pandemics and development of treatments for pandemics, which is obviously only just come about in the last 2 years, that recognition, but it's brought a lot of investment into the city. And our international public health course kind of fits in with that, and will offer you sort of placements and engagement with that research institute developed by the World Health Organization. So that's a great opportunity for any student that comes and studies international public health. And then finally, we have the MA Mental Health. So obviously this is an area that's sort of becoming more important globally. And again, it was something that the British Council really wanted to push as an area of study for Indonesian students. And it's kind of looking more at sort of the health management side of things as well, and also practical-led experience that you get on that course with local institutes and the NHS in the UK, where you get practical placements as part of the course. Okay, so in terms of entry requirements, basically what we'd be looking for is your S1 with a GPA of 2.5 or above. So if you have that in a related subject to one of those courses, very much, you know, that academically will be enough to get an offer of study onto the course. And then on top of that, most of those courses will ask for an IELTS of 6.5 in terms of the English. Some of them will be 6, but I think the majority of those ones will be an IELTS of 6.5. So that's kind of the main entry requirements that we're looking for. But I'll go into sort of a bit more detail in terms of the scholarship application as well later on, and what to include on that. Okay, so the eligibility for the scholarship. So basically, you have to be a passport holder from Indonesia. That will make you eligible for that criteria in terms of residency. So as long as you're a passport holder of Indonesia, that's great. You will be eligible to apply for the scholarship. You must have an offer of study. So that, as I said earlier, that can be conditional offer. So you do need to apply for the course before you apply for the scholarship, and that's very important. You need what's called your student ID number to be able to apply for the scholarship. And as I said earlier, a lot of students have applied for the scholarship but haven't applied for a course of study, which basically doesn't make them eligible for the scholarship, because we can't award a scholarship to someone that doesn't have an offer of study for the course. Okay, so you do need to meet the English language requirements for the course, and obviously meet that S1 requirement of the GPA of 2.5 or above. So as mentioned earlier, if you don't have your IELTS test, the British Council will fund that as part of the scholarship. Okay, so ideally what the British Council are looking for is for students to demonstrate work experience or a proven interest in the chosen course area. So really that's trying to sort of evidence what you want to achieve from the scholarship, what you want to achieve from the program that you're studying at LJMU, and what you hope to go on to do in the future, and what you hope to offer to Indonesia generally when you go back home. Because, you know, the British Council will be in contact with you when you get home. They will want to support you and develop you in that area that you do study as part of the scholarship. It's very important that you know, you get across your passion for that subject area. Okay, so applicants must have the funds to cover the remaining living costs, travel, and any other costs. So as I mentioned earlier, that generally is just the first sort of 2 to 3 weeks that you're in the UK until your stipend payment is set up. So you'll need a little bit of money at the start, but it won't be a huge amount. And or, you know, once your funds are set up on the stipend, you will receive that monthly. And it works out around £1,300, I believe, as the monthly stipend, which is very generous in the UK when you consider, you know, your accommodation can cost less than £400 a month. So it is a very generous amount that you do get as your monthly stipend. Okay, so very important as well, applicants must not have previously studied at degree level or higher in the UK. So as long as you've done your bachelor degree in Indonesia or in a different country, obviously I think most of you will have done your bachelor degree already in Indonesia, so that would be perfect and will make you eligible. And then, okay, so no more financial support. So basically you can't combine this scholarship with another scholarship. Obviously you wouldn't need to, because this scholarship does cover absolutely everything. But very important that you don't have any other kind of financial backing as part of your study in the UK. And obviously the biggest one, you have to be, you know, a female student as well. So this is to really encourage females to grow in these areas and develop specifically within the STEM area and these subject areas, which are seen by the British Council in Southeast Asia as developing areas for the region and things that need, you know, improvement and development, and they would like women to be, you know, at the forefront of that development. Okay, so what we do expect, so if you do receive the scholarship, we would like you to kind of support the university as well. So basically supporting us with any promotional activities, things like that. And just kind of, you know, support with testimonials and things like that. Basically the British Council will ask you for that as well. So as part of the scholarship, you know, they will ask for a little bit of help with doing some interactive sessions with potential students in the future. And then they also do state that you should really be returning home after the scholarship as well for 2 years. Now, obviously the graduate route visa is an option for students. You know, it is recommended that you return home by the British Council, but equally a lot of students will want to stay because of the graduate route visa now available in the UK. But it is recommended that you do go home after you graduate from the course, and sort of really look to grow and develop further back in Indonesia. Okay, so how to apply. So the application is on our website. So the best thing to do is just to go to ljmu.ac.uk, and then you would go on to international, then international scholarships, and it'll be there under the postgraduate scholarships. From that link as well, you can click on to all the subjects that are available for the scholarship and apply directly for the courses through that route. Now, in terms of the application for the scholarship, basically we want you to include as much detail as possible into those answers and really get across your passion for the subject, what you hope to achieve in the future. As I said, at the moment, a lot of students just really haven't written a lot. So if you are interested in this scholarship, you know, you do have a good chance at the moment of being awarded the scholarship, because we just haven't had the sufficient eligible applications just yet. But yeah, any support that you need in terms of writing, that you can contact myself and I can give you some advice on writing those answers a bit in a more specific way to support your application for the scholarship. Okay, so if we're looking at tuition fees and sort of going on to other scholarships available at LJMU, so the tuition fee for a classroom-based course will be £16,100, and for a lab-based course will be £16,600. So your classroom-based courses will be your business, your law-based programs, and then your lab-based will be your STEM subjects. Really will be all £16,600 for the year. Okay, and then if we look at the other scholarships available to students from Indonesia, So we have at postgraduate level, it will be the International Achievement Scholarship, which is worth £3,500. That's an automatic scholarship, so you don't need to apply for that. That will automatically come off your tuition fee, and that's eligible for every course that we have at master's taught level. So whether that be engineering, business, law, art and design, so architecture, areas like that. That scholarship is available for every program and to every Indonesian student, regardless of the course that you choose to do, and it will be automatic, so no application process for that scholarship and no deadline as well for that scholarship. Okay, so for the Women in STEM scholarship, the deadline will be the 31st of March. So it's not too far away. So if you are interested in applying for the scholarship, we do recommend that you get your applications for the course in as soon as possible, really, to get that offer processed, and then you can apply for the scholarship before the 31st of March. But like I say, you know, the opportunity is there. It is a fully funded scholarship. Obviously, it's restricted to the subject areas listed before. But you know, it is a great opportunity to study in the UK, fully funded. And yeah, if you've got any questions, feel free to go ahead. My email address is there as well, so if you have questions later on that you maybe don't think of right now, feel free to contact me at any time. Okay, so if we maybe go on to some questions now.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Nicholas Pitt, for your wonderful and detailed presentation. So my name is Rizky from Bricham Education Center, and I'll be the one leading the Q&A session. So I would like to kindly remind you again that you are free to drop your questions on the chat box or by clicking the raise hand feature on this Zoom. So all right, so while waiting for the questions, all right, I do have questions for you, Nick. It is stated on the website that one of the criteria is to be able to demonstrate any work experience or proven interest in their chosen program. May I know whether the working experience should also be strictly within STEM industry, Nick?
Okay, so it's quite flexible. I mean, in terms of what we'd accept for the course application, that work experience isn't necessary. This is something more to kind of get across on the scholarship application to sort of indicate your passion for that area of study, and sort of just to add maybe that little bit extra to boost your scholarship application, to put you a step ahead of other candidates. It's not completely necessary that you have that work experience, and I wouldn't say that should put you off applying for the scholarship either. If you don't have that work experience, that's something that's kind of put in to maybe set you apart from other candidates. But like I say, at the moment, there aren't that many other candidates. So in fact, you know, if you don't have that work experience, don't be put off from applying. I would recommend that you do apply, but obviously it would help your application if you do have that work experience, but not completely necessary. And you know, if any kind of work experience that you do have will always look good on any application for a scholarship. So if it's not related to the subject, you know, include that as well, because you may have transferable skills from that work experience that you do have.
All right, thanks, Nick. It's quite clear. So we do have questions from Eva. Thank you, Eva, for your questions. The question is, does the scholarship also cover for postdoc in mathematics science?
So it's only available for the subjects listed, and it's only for the master's taught programs as well. So nothing at sort of PhD and beyond level. So the courses that I listed are the only courses eligible for the Women in STEM scholarship. Now the university does offer potential scholarships for PhD students, but that's very much decided by the faculty, and you know, you need to submit an application for your PhD. And if you do want support for that, I can help you with a PhD application. But in terms of funding, it's very much decided by the faculty. There's nothing automatic that's offered for PhD scholarships. So, you know, there could be something available, but equally that there may be absolutely nothing available, in which case the tuition fee would be £16,600 per year. But it would be something you would have to bring up with a supervisor as you make a PhD application.
All right, thank you. Next, I hope that answer your questions. So actually, I received another questions privately. So somebody asked whether you've mentioned previously that recipients of this scholarship will be required to serve as ambassadors during their time at Liverpool John Moores University. Perhaps could you further elaborate what are the job description or typical work and the duration of being an ambassador at Liverpool John Moores?
Sure. So this is nothing too strenuous, to be honest. It's more sort of helping to promote LJMU, promote the scholarship as well. So, for example, we've got current students that are helping the British Council now, who were awarded the scholarship last year. So as part of it, you know, the British Council may ask you to do some work for them to promote the Women in STEM scholarship for future years. So it's nothing too much. There's been sort of testimonials. So the British Council may contact you, ask you some questions, have those quotes in maybe a newspaper or a news article, something like that. So it's really nothing too strenuous, to be honest. It's, you know, and you may not even be asked to do anything as part of that role.
All right, thank you, Nick. So another question is, on your presentation previously, scholarship awardee needs to return to their home country minimum 2 years after the scholarship ends. Is that correct? So does it mean that students are still eligible to apply for a graduate route visa, Nick? Perhaps you want to clarify?
Yeah, sure. So it's kind of set by the British Council that they want students to return home, basically after they graduate. So it's part of the award is that they want them to return home to develop in that area back in their home country. Now, how they can kind of restrict that, I'm not too sure, because students can apply for the graduate route visa, and that's kind of up to the student to do that. So whereas it's recommended that you return home, I don't think it's an absolute must that you return home. But they would like you to return home. No way that they can stop you from staying is probably the way to say it.
All right. Thank you, Nick, for your clarification. So I do still have questions while waiting others to throw some questions. It is stated that the scholarship covers monthly stipends for 1 year duration of study. Perhaps could you further elaborate what's the average amount given to the awardee monthly, Nick, or whether the applicant could also take TOEFL instead of IELTS?
Sure. So in terms of the stipend payment, so you receive that monthly when you're here, and it will be around £1,300 per month. As I mentioned earlier, accommodation you can get for around £400 per month. So it's a very generous amount that you're getting in terms of your living cost, and you won't have any issues with, you know, food costs, travel costs, anything that you will incur whilst being in the UK. It really will cover anything that you need. In terms of the IELTS and the TOEFL, yes, we can accept TOEFL. We also have a number of different online English tests as well that are available to international students from Indonesia. So there are other opportunities for English tests. It doesn't have to be just IELTS.
All right, thank you, Nick, for your answer. So actually, somebody also sent me a question privately. he wanted to know how LGMU and also the British Council assess the application. Will it be fully rely on the size of the application, or do you also look for academics achievement?
Yeah, so it'll be a bit of both, really. So obviously the academic achievement will be part of it, but also we're looking for sort of a real passion for that area of study. So through the scholarship application, there's a number of questions to answer, including sort of areas such as why you want to study this course, what you hope to achieve in the future, and sort of, you know, why you want to do the course. To be honest, that's the main questions there, and what you hope to achieve from it. As long as you answer those questions well, you know, that will be assessed by academic colleagues at the university first, to basically shortlist a number of students to then be selected by the British Council. So the university in the first instance will shortlist students, and then that shortlist will go to the British Council to select the final students. So as mentioned earlier, that there are 5 scholarships available, so it's a good number of scholarships that are available this year. And like I said, the number of applications in already, we've had, I think it's around 60 applications for the scholarship, but of that 60, there's probably only about 10 that are actually eligible for the scholarship. And of that 10, you know, they haven't gone into great detail on the scholarship application, which doesn't help, to be honest. So you know, if you are interested and want to apply, you know, you do have a good chance at the moment of being awarded the scholarship.
Right. Thank you, Nick. Does anyone have any more questions regarding the scholarship or LGM, Liverpool John Moores University in particular? So if there is no more questions, I think I would like to close the Q&A sessions. And if any of this information stimulate another question, please feel free to address your question to Nick or us as well. And thank you for the questions. Those are very good questions. Now I would like to take this opportunity to share with you all the latest updates from the UK. So as you may or may not be aware, these are the updates from the UK. The first thing that I would like to point out is that graduate route is now available for international students, and that includes, that includes Indonesian students as well. And graduate route enables us, international students, to immerse in the UK real industry for 2 years for students who previously take master's program. And then another point is that the UK has lifted COVID-19 restrictions since the 19th of July to 2021. And another thing is more than 85% of the adult population have had 2 doses of vaccine in the UK. And by the 22nd November 2021, the UK recognized these vaccines, such as Sinovac, Sinopharm, Beijing, and Covaxin as well. And then another thing, cheers to the success of UK's vaccine and booster rollout. As a result, effective as per 11th February 2022, travelers that qualify as fully vaccinated are no longer required to do quarantine when you arrive in the UK. So lastly, international students, including Indonesians, are also eligible to receive vaccination in the UK. So, all right, as you have already heard all of this information regarding Women in STEM Scholarship, and then also recent updates from us and from Liverpool John Moores University, should you keen to apply, we are happy to provide you. We provide university selection to further advise the admission process of the scholarship and to apply to Liverpool John Moores University. And then we also support you in English language training and qualification. Another thing is we support you as well with the travel, visas, and accommodation assistance. And lastly, our unique value is actually to have employer matchmaking. So we provide UK alumni to get connected with notable companies here in Indonesia. And if you are interested to apply, kindly send us a message on our social media, website, or email provided here on your screen. I guess that's all from me really. On behalf of Bricham Education Center, I would like to take this opportunity to extend our gratitude to Institut Teknologi Bandung, to Pak Andika and Mbak Cipta for allowing us, Bricham Education Center, along with Mr. Nicholas Pitt from Liverpool John Moores University to deliver these scholarship sessions. So last but not least, thank you for all participants for making the time to join the session. And I hope the information would be useful and support your decision to apply for this scholarship or your or your scholarship application to Liverpool John Moores University. So before leaving the session, perhaps Pak Andika or Mbak Cipta, if you'd like to add anything, you are free.
Everything is good from us. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Nick, for the presentation. So hopefully our students or alumni, I believe they benefited a lot from the presentation, and our colleagues from the British Chambers of Commerce Indonesia also. Thank you very much, obviously.
All right.
Thank you all.
Thank you. The pleasure is all mine. Thank you all. Stay safe and have a great day.
Bye.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye.